Fire up the flames, I'll do you damage.
I don't know if there was a trigger moment. I've always just loved music, and like my parents would always play music around the house. My mum's a really big Bowie fan, and my dad's into like a lot of punk and stuff. So yeah, I don't know if there was ever a time when there wasn't a trigger point. Do you know what I mean? It was always like it was just in me, and we always had a sort of a piano around the house. When I had some covers up and there were some people like that, there were people that I'd admired and like wanted to replicate. Like I was really into Pharrell before that, and all his sort of hip hop production and all the things he'd done with Neptunes and NERD and things like that. So in a way there was a little bit of pressure, but then once I'd done the thing of taking it all down a little bit and starting from scratch, I had to just get in my head sort of who I was and figure out what I was about, and that helped a lot, and so the pressure kind of stopped. Kanye West was a big one for me because he seemed like the only artist of my generation who had that kind of, he had a progression, and he had a real career and an arc of different things, and he'd do whatever he wanted to do, and sometimes he could nudge it over this way so that he could bring it back this way a little bit, and that was inspiring to me. And then looking back, obviously Bowie and obviously people like that. But yeah, when I grew up, it was like rock bands, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Kings of Leon, The Killers, bands like that. I don't know what it is. I can't see many bands that are around at the moment, or artists around at the moment, who actually want to take it all the way. I want to be. I don't know. I think a lot of people get preoccupied by what's cool and a sound, and they get trapped in this kind of, chasing a sound. Whereas I think, in 5 years, where's the sound going to be? I just admire good songs, basically. I think in the past, I've analysed it before it's even come, and I think a lot of things that come from me, if it comes quickly, I'm quite instinctive with songwriting, and that tends to be what works, I think, and what the songs that I eventually end up thinking, God, that is really good. It's sort of a bit magical because it comes so quickly, and it's sort of a bit like, I can't believe that came so quickly. You don't have to ask. I'm talking about Bowie and stuff. I was playing something that sounded a bit like Let's Dance, and I had loads of delay on the guitar, and I was sort of playing this riff, and like the riff goes doom 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 doom, but whatever I had on it was probably going doom 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 or whatever, but it didn't quite hit me at the same. Anyway, I recorded it, was listening to it, I thought it sounded okay, and then I took the delay off it, and immediately it was like, again, it's like magic, and I thought it sounded rocky and sort of upbeat, and it should have a bit of chest thumping sort of lyrics to it, which is what it ended up being. So yeah. Stone Cold Classic. Like I said, it was very instinctive, and it just kind of happened, and I allowed it to happen. And I think somewhere along the line, I sort of started to become very analytical about things and very sort of, I don't know, just thought too much about things. And now I've sort of come back full circle, but with a load more knowledge, I think. I think that's what's happening. I think what surprised me most was I wrote some songs recently, and they really seemed to have all these kind of peaks and builds and different things, and it was literally because I was playing them all the way through. And I know that sounds stupidly simple, but I think when people are writing and they just do the first bit and then they just loop it and try and write over the top of it, things can get a bit stale, I think. And so for me, it was realising that, that thing that I love about like the Killers or whatever is because the way they arranged that song was, at this point comes the big whoosh or whatever, at this point it has to break down because of what he's saying or this or... the ability to disappear after perform and just go and then go. That would be good.